Hey guys, it's been a while and I want to give you an Ascension update. So I have been going through huge Ascension symptoms. In the last few weeks have been some of the most intense for me throughout this whole entire process. So I appreciate your guys' patience and realizing that I am one of the light warriors here that's on the front line of this, so I am receiving the brunt of these energies amongst thousands of other people. But at the same time, when I'm going through a cleansing process or an exhaustion phase, it's really difficult for me to do much of anything extra. So that's the reason why, sometimes if I disappear from the channel for an extended period of time. Also, I have been reaching out to the masses and other forms of social media. So that has kind of taken my focus, but I want to come back to you guys because you guys are my YouTube subscribers, and I want to encourage you because I know some of you might be feeling lost or like, what the hell happened? Or like, did I miss the ascension or something like that? Okay, I want to first offer you comfort because you haven't missed anything. These are natural feelings that might come up in you because I'm here to tell you the last month the energies have created a really weird feeling, okay? I myself have felt eerie, have felt out of place, have felt like I'm in a strange land again, just really weird things that seemingly make no sense have been happening. I had my car broken into on Valentine's Day and had my purse stolen out of the back while I was at a dog park. I had a woman lash out on me in line behind me at a grocery store just because I asked her a question nicely. So weird stuff like that. You might be getting that and you're like, what the hell is going on? So you have to realize, like I've always said in my videos, that these energies are affecting everyone, whether they're conscious of it or not, whether their heart chakra is open or not, or whether they're ascending to 5D or not. It is affecting them on some level. Many of them cannot process it properly because they're not going through it consciously, okay? So the way that it comes out, the way they process it, is in sometimes aggressive ways and basically taking it out on others. Like I say, lashing out, because it really does feel like it's just sudden and crazy, So be aware of that, okay? And the way that I've come to be aware of that, I've spoken about aura cleansing on my channel too, or protecting your aura. So go to my playlist. It should be under this playlist actually for Ascension. I talk about the importance of keeping the aura clean and keeping the aura strong, because when you're tired or you're stressed or you're not eating well or whatever those things may be, your aura can begin to become weaker. And it's easier, sometimes it gets little tears in it or big tears. And in those tears are where these harmful lower energies are able to get in. But if you cleanse your aura on a regular basis and strengthen it, you'll feel so much more resilient against the negative energies. So I also want to talk about where I'm at in this when I'm dealing with other people now, okay? So, for the longest time, people's energies, like when they were negative and lower and when they lashed out, a lot of times it would make me feel extremely sick. Excuse me. See, I'm still exhausted. It would make me feel sick, and it would make me feel like a need to retreat for a long time to process that, or just to heal myself or whatever. Now I'm at kind of like a new phase in this ascension process, which is actually really good news. Because you know, when the people that have been on the front lines are getting to a point where things are not affecting them as much, that we are reaching collectively a higher level, if that makes sense. So it's like, say the people at the top of, and not that I'm talking about a hierarchy here, because I'm not, but I'm just, this is for imagery purposes. Say that the people, the light warriors who are on, who are at the front lines of this mission, are like on top of like a pyramid, okay? And in some ways that is accurate, because we're like a spearhead. Like, our energy and the work that we're doing is creating like a rocket booster that's pushing everyone who's eligible for ascension forward into that next bandwidth, that higher bandwidth of the fifth dimension. Okay, so it really is like a rocket that is collecting fuel and collecting momentum for this. And so I'm at a point now where, like, I don't really let it in, if that makes sense. I have a no tolerance policy, which means at the slightest feeling of unkindness directed towards me, I shut it down. Okay, I shut it immediately down, meaning I don't try to convince that person. I don't really reply to that person. If it's online, I just block them. I mean, at their first transgression. I don't even explain sometimes to them anything, nothing. It's just, you're incapable of interacting with a being like me, and you're not worthy of my energy, because I feel like I just saw a white dove fly by, guys. I swear. That is amazing. I think I just literally saw a white dove fly by the car, which is a sign. So this is amazing that this happened right when I'm talking to you guys. Oh, wow. I've not seen that here yet. So, but I just, like, literally, like, it comes down to self-love. So I am loving myself more than ever before. Of course, we all have perfect love for ourselves when we're in our higher self state, but I'm talking about as a human being, I am feeling that divine love for myself, and feeling that for myself on a real level, like not just talking about it, but actually feeling that nurturing love that's coming through for myself, for appreciation for who I am, and just mass respect for my mission and the hardships I've endured on behalf of this. The feeling I have for myself is so beautiful right now, that whenever anyone, like, doesn't treat me like I feel about myself, it's almost laughable to me. Like, I'm just like, okay. Like, I laughed at the lady behind me that went off on me, because I was like, I didn't even understand it. I was just kind of like looking at the cashier, looking at her. I was so confused, because, you know, when you shed your ego, and sometimes people have a big ego, it doesn't always register, because you're not thinking, you're not on that frequency anymore. So you're like, what? So I was really confused. And then I just realized, when I realized that she was attacking me energetically, although her words didn't make sense, but her energy was completely coming at me. I was like, I just laughed a little bit, out of like, but not out of like nervousness or anything, or out of like submission or any of that old bullshit. I just laughed because it literally was like, okay, you're still in your illusion, and okay, honey, you can have that, you know, you're entitled to that. And I was just like, I said, okay, have a nice day, you know, that's it. And she was like, you too. Like, even her response to that was like a dagger pointed towards me. However, I was so at peace with it, you know, it meant nothing to me, because obviously, how in the world would it, you know, I don't even know this person. And it also felt like a compliment that something about my energy field was so powerful for her that she had to lash out on it. Does that make sense? So you might have experienced some of those things in the last few months, and I just want to let you know that it's very normal. It's indicative of this intense time that we're in. Also, I want to say I was feeling really in the dark, really lost, really down about a week and a half ago. So I finally reached out to my mentor, which is Georgie Stankove. If you don't know who Georgie Stankove is, I made a video called Who is Georgie Stankove? It's also in my Ascension playlist. You can watch that, and I put a link to his website, which is stankovesuniversallawpress.com. I have been following him since 2011 when I first discovered him. And it was like coming home, like literally. It was like I had read, other articles by light workers. I had read other things about Ascension. I knew about Ascension and everything, but everything felt like a little bit short of the truth, if that makes sense, or just like there's something missing, because I personally had crazy ass symptoms and horrible fatigue, and was having a horrible breakdown of like my perception of reality. I was not reading about other people who were having it to that intense level on these other platforms. And so when I found Georgie Stankove's website in 2011, it was right around the 11/11 portal that year. Well, no, 11/11/11, right? November 11th, 2011. It was right around that portal. And that was a massive portal, huge timeline shift. And when I found his website, I was like, oh my God, this is real. I get chills just thinking about it. It was the first time in my life that I suddenly felt like, my God, I am normal, meaning what's happening to me is for a reason, I'm not crazy. It was a huge part of my awakening to my true mission and who I really am. And then it was all these other people from around the world writing in, explaining the exact things that I was experiencing, psychologically, emotionally, and it was nasty. Meaning they were talking about the nastiest symptoms that I was having, the intensity of it. And I just can't explain to you the comfort that came over me. So that's how I learned that I was part of what's called the PAT. He terms it the PAT, capital P-A-T, which stands for Planetary Ascension Team. So all of us guys are here for reasons. We all have a purpose, okay? I just want to let you know we all have a purpose, and no one can tell you what your role is here, because that's only for you to discover, okay? Your soul has a unique role here, and that will be revealed to you through things like my channel, through articles that you're drawn to, through information that you will become drawn to. And when a piece of information is for you, there is no mistaking it. It is a feeling that is almost indescribable. You will hear a person say something, or you will read something, and it's like, for me, the hairs on my arms just stand straight up, and I get this whole body chill, and it's like time stands still. I have an out of body moment of, you have found, it's like a treasure hunt, and it's like you have found this piece in your journey. You know what I mean? And you can't mistake it. So that's like Georgie's website, okay? Again and again. Now, if you go there now, like currently, it's not as much of the energy updates that we used to do. There's a lot of scientific stuff right now, because Georgie maintains that all of science as we know it has been a lie. Okay, just like NASA covers up stuff, just like so many things. They have lied to humans on so many levels, pretty much every level of existence. And once this all comes out, there's going to be a major shock. So I want to prepare everybody for that. There is going to be a major shock. Another girl that I listen to that channels information I'm on her email list. I got an email for her today, and she described it as there will be a deep state of shock. A deep state of shock in people, because most people have no idea even what you and I know, okay? They don't know the extent. Sure, they'll say, oh, the government just wants to take your money or whatever. Oh, they don't even know. They have no idea. There's people who don't even realize the harmful effects of vaccines, the poisons in our food, the chemtrails in the sky, the toxins in the water, the animal sacrifices, the child pedophilia. I mean, every single level. The fact that we have no real privacy, every fundamental right that we have as souls was compromised here. Okay? Georgie calls these the crimes against humanity, and crimes they are indeed, and they will all be accounted for, so don't you worry about that. That brings me to my next piece of this. So let me just encourage you guys really quick. Please hang in there. You are needed, okay? You are needed. You might think this is terrible and you're depressed and you don't want to go on and you don't understand because you're confused. But here, let me just make it really simple for you. And this is what Georgie also replied to me when I wrote him, when I was just like, what the hell's going on, Georgie? I'm beside myself again. I haven't felt like this in a long time. I was having such high vibe days, a few months ago. And now it's like the rug got swept out from underneath me and I'm back to like being bedridden some days, bouts of crying, headaches, loathing people because their energies feel terrible and I can't be around anybody, trying to avoid them, getting attacked. So he was saying to me, listen, this is the most unprecedented time. Unprecedented, meaning never been before in all of human history. In all of human history. The time that you and I are in, living and breathing on this planet right now, interacting with each other, has never been, okay? It has never been this intense. There has never been so much at stake. There has never been so much corruption. And there has never been so much light. Okay? There has never been this much of a clash here existing at once. If we don't think that that's going to cause some intensity, we need to review the scenario, right? There are angels walking amongst us, of which I am one, and you may be too. And there are demons walking amongst us, okay? This is the end game. This is when it splits, separates, curtain goes down, okay? That's the times that we are in, guys. So, here I am, always being so hard on myself. Because why can't I just live a normal life? Why, Carrie? Why can't you just, push all this icky shit that you go through aside and just go live that normal life that everyone's trying to attain, that, by the way, doesn't fucking exist. Can't even exist here because of all the horrible things that are occurring, okay? You have to be completely blind and narcissistic and asleep to actually think that you have a great life here, okay? At every single turn, there is a limitation, a law, a repercussion, something assaulting your even your own mind. There is subliminal programming. There is mind warfare. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just telling you, and I believe that we are protected and we are rising. We have ways to rise above it. And, it's not going to destroy us, that's for sure, because we're awake. But to not look at the reality and how horrible that it is delusional. And we have a lot of delusional people on the planet. So, I personally, as a light warrior, you could give me $10 million, okay, and 20 acres of land somewhere, whatever, and I might be happier, but I'm not going to be fulfilled and content. Why? Because I cannot be knowing what my other fellow beings are suffering at the same time, the injustices that are happening. I can't go off into my little bubble and pretend that this shit doesn't exist, okay? There are children in cages, okay, that are victims of the political pedophilia rings, okay, in underground bunkers. Do you see what I'm saying? How in the fuck am I supposed to just go live my life and not feel pain, not feel the suffering? You can't, because we're all connected. If you don't, it's because you're ignorant, meaning literal, I'm not putting people down, I'm just saying, they literally don't know. Ignorance is bliss, I guess. Or they are just, they don't care. They don't care, okay? They're not awake enough to feel like we're all one, so it's just like, oh, bad shit happens, every man for himself, right? Okay, so I want to encourage you, like Georgie said, have some compassion for yourself. Have some compassion, guys. Think about what we are enduring here. Think about this time that we're in. And think about the fact that you even get up at all in the morning and are able to function and all the things you're able to accomplish. You're a major survivor. So have some compassion for yourself. When he said that, ever since then, I've just had this feeling of such relief, because I'm just like, my God, I am so hard on myself. I am so hard on myself. I beat myself up when I'm not able to do all the things that my mind wants to do, even though I'm enduring the most powerful energy that's ever come in contact with human flesh. And that's running through me every day, and I'm cleansing it, and I'm refining it, and I'm helping it to be transmuted to others. That in itself, if that's all that I had to do, it would be enough of a task to where I should be proud of myself, and it would be enough. Do you know what I'm saying? But none of us really have the luxury of only going through that, do we? No, because we have dependents. You know, I have 3 dogs. I have a house to maintain. I have to make money. And then in the midst of all of this experiment, we have to make money, right? We have to, do things that are sort of like business as usual, even though we're in the most unprecedented time in human history, enduring the most potent energies that have ever come in contact with human bodies. Wow, guys, wow. Just take a deep breath. The compassion that I have for myself and for others who are going through this has really ramped up in the past couple weeks. Give yourself a break, man. You know, I was like beating myself up over like not being able to get my body to do exactly what I wanted it to do, even though I was working out so much. The workouts were fucking killing me. And here I am worried about this physical body, the way it is healthy. It's just like, I'm like, why doesn't it look better? I've been killing myself, you know? Why would I care? When I'm getting ready to be in a light body, you're getting ready to be in your light body. You can morph your life body to your liking, you know? It's indestructible, unlike these bodies that are pretty fragile in a lot of ways. So give yourself a break. I was running. I went from running to walking. I might run a little bit today because I'm feeling a little bit better, but I'm like, if I can walk 2 to 3 miles, I feel like I have accomplished a marathon these days, you know? And that is okay, because I am so precious. I am so precious. I am so beautiful, you know? And you are too. And that's where you have to get to the point of like, why would you beat yourself up? You know, you came here during the most intense time that ever was on this planet. Why are you beating yourself up for things that don't matter and aren't going to matter very soon, right? So give yourself a break. You know, it's just been a situation of, if you feel like doing nothing and you can, just do nothing. Don't do nothing and go, oh my God, I should be doing this and I should be doing that. No. If your body's saying you rest, that's what you should be doing. Okay? If your body's saying take a salt bath, that's what you should be doing. Your soul will tell you what is appropriate if you would just listen and obey it. So, the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to cut this off because it's getting a little bit long, but I know that the ones who watch this whole thing, you guys are troopers, and you're down for till the end, and you're my audience on this platform. It's not for everyone, obviously. It didn't get widely popular. Why? Because how many people you think are ascending? There's probably going to be a few million. Okay, maybe even 1 billion. But how many people are on this planet that are not going to the 5D? The majority. Okay, there might be on a 4D higher 4D timeline, but we're like 5D'ers. That is the creme of the crop. Okay, I mean, we're the ones that are ready for instant manifestation and total unity, consciousness, oneness. You know, we're the ones that are ready to be with our twin flames and manifest unconditional love in the physical. Okay, we're those ones. Okay. So, the last thing I want to say is, the lady that I was listening to from the UK, her name is Jen. Maybe some of you know her. I can't remember her channel. Matahari Jari or something like that. Some of you might know her. Maybe I'll come back later and put her information in here. But her last video was about you know, the child pedophilia and everything that her and her boyfriend or her partner have been reading about more, and she's been leading meditations, praying for these children and praying for the truth to come out, for the time of light to be here now. And her email today actually said that you know, we know there's going to be mass arrest. There's going to be mass arrest of political leaders and A-list celebrities and everybody that's been involved in these dark crimes against humanity. And that's what's going to be so shocking to the majority of people, because they'll be like, think about going from being clueless to finding out that, you know what I'm saying? We know. We've been prepared. We've had time to process these disgusting truths for a while. They're going to hear about it on a large scale and in a sudden way. They're going to go into deep shock. That's where we come in. Okay? We need to be there to help them through it, explain to them, comfort them, help them through the pain. So she believes that during the time of the spring equinox, which is next month, March 2020, that is when there's so many birds flying around me, guys, which is just such a sign to me. Birds are signs of ascension, doves sign of peace. It's like, wow, okay, we are getting there, right? And I knew we had to be, because it's been so intense. It has to be building to something. And that's another thing Georgie said, Georgie Stankove, my friend, he said, you know, all that is, meaning source, meaning God, meaning all that is, doesn't waste energy. So what would be the point in pumping these intense energies into our bodies, into this planet, if it wasn't about to result in something, you know? And there's been an increase. Boy, has there been an increase. I can just tell you by the way it feels outside. It feels intense. And so what I wanted to say in conclusion here is that, you know, we need to be creating this now as a collective. So we need to all be putting our visions, okay? We are creating this collectively, and we can speed this up upon disclosure happening, the truths coming out about what's been happening to all of these children, the crimes against humanity being exposed on and I'm not talking about in these little segmented groups that hardly anybody reads. I'm talking about on the news channels, okay? You know, there are forces of light. Some people call them white hats, meaning just, you know, like a white witch, that have been behind the scenes in the political world, in the news realm, okay, waiting for the light. They're star seeds too. They've been placed places undercover, you know. They're awakening to their purpose as well, and part of their purpose is to help with this revealing the truth to the masses. So just know that that is coming, and it's coming very soon. And I do honestly believe that it could be around the March equinox or shortly after there, because you got to remember, once the energies are released through these massive portals like an equinox, it does take a bit for them to completely assimilate and everything sometimes. But it could be before that. The way these energies are going, it could be before that. It could be during the equinox. So we need to just know that, and excuse me. We need to just know that and focus on that. Okay, let's really pull our energies together now and focus on that time of next month being some big breakthroughs. Okay, I know it's getting close, guys. Do not give up. Do not give up, because no matter what, this is a done deal. This is an assured thing. This isn't a maybe thing. We've already won. The forces of light have already won, and that's how it was always going to be. We are now going through the playing out of that, but on a certain timeline, we are already victorious, and we need to start merging with that timeline now and seeing ourselves partially on that timeline. Okay, love you guys so much. I'm sending love and energy from my heart to you. Make sure you get extra rest. Make sure you give yourself extra compassion. Okay, I love you so much. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.